Hi, bitches. It's Nate, and of course, this is Bitch I Ain't Scared. Who else is here?
Rob the Scholar. I know you
Yeah.
guys missed me.
We all missed you. So, look, I'm sure you already know. Everybody knows. But why did they delay New Mutants?
Yes, I had this news delivered to me last night, and the only thing I can think of when they delay something is that they don't want it to overshadow anything else from their studio or competition from other movies coming out that day. But I haven't heard of any problems or reshoots or anything.
No, neither
But,
have I.
I mean, how long is that delay?
It's like not quite a year, but it's like 10 months.
That's a very long time.
It
but,
is.
I mean, they just came through a huge deal, and I'm sure they're shifting stuff around.
No, they're not. Not with this. This is a property that has nothing to do with the deal. It was already done and made before that deal was made. I talked to Nick,
Yeah.
and yeah, that was not... It has nothing to do with that. So for them to delay this 10 months and to continue to try and hype this bullshit like it's brand new...
Yeah,
I don't
we'll
know anything
see.
about marketing, I guess. Clearly,
Well,
I don't.
the only thing that's gonna suck is that to keep this movie in our minds, they're gonna continue to show more advertisements. So
Right.
hopefully they won't screw us and show too much footage by the end of this 10 months.
I'm not watching none of that.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay away from any more like advertisements or whatever. So we'll see.
Oh, well.
Yeah. You know what I used to do? If I was at a theater and there was a movie or a preview that came on that I didn't want to see, I actually would leave.
Really?
Yes, back then I was super hardcore about
my
not seeing any
gosh.
footage, and now I'm older and I'm just lazy. But I would usually get up and leave because I obviously couldn't cover my ears and be like, la la la, and I'll be all loud in the theater. But I would step out. And for the most part, it would benefit. But a little thing about that, just as such a side note. So I went to the movies today,
What'd you see?
and I said Proud Mary.
Oh, that's out?
Yeah, I know. So here's the thing. So I was talking with Matt.
What?
Matt was like, "It's out already." I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Where has she been?" Like, this movie got no advertisements. Nobody's been talking.
The only reason I know about it is because I follow Taraji on Instagram.
Okay,
That's
but
it.
but then I thought about it and I was like, she actually hasn't been anywhere talking about this movie. As far as I know, I haven't heard crap. All I saw was a trailer. That was it.
I haven't seen that.
But anyway, so I saw Proud Mary, and the movie was executed in a completely different direction than I thought. And I had to think about why I ended up getting this sort of like thought process of how the movie was going to go. And it's because the trailer didn't show anything. It played the song, you found out she knows how to handle herself, especially with guns, and then the movie was done. Her name's Mary, Proud Mary, it goes together. Now, this trailer did exactly what we wanted. Don't show us anything. Don't give us any story. And then, in some way, it still screwed me because I had a thought in my head, and it made the movie a little bit less than what I wanted it to be.
Oh.
So I'm not saying that trailers that reveal more is better, but there is an advantage to knowing what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's a catch-22, and also, you know, I guess it really depends on the movie. But it's just funny when you think about it. A trailer that finally doesn't give away anything, you're just stuck with the thoughts in your head, and that can also screw you. So I just thought that was funny.
I think there's always a way to do it. We've all seen the Wrinkle in Time trailer at this point, which they put another one out too, and it gives you more, and it's like, I don't need any more.
Yeah.
Granted, this is based on a book, so if you've read the book, you already know the story, and people are very familiar with this title. But that trailer is everything. It doesn't show me anything except like a bunch of visual hype and Oprah, you know, like doing some mystical shit. That's all I need. But,
And I would be totally fine with that. I think people who know of the book should already be intrigued.
yeah, people
But-
who know of the book are intrigued. People who have not read the book are ready to go.
Yeah.
Ready to
Yeah.
go.
At least that's what I hope. So, I mean, but, you know, of course, they're going to reveal more. So,
Not watching it.
yeah. So, I don't know. Do you have anything for us, or should we, like, get to it?
Nope, that's it.
You're
That's my
good?
only complaint
Okay.
for the moment.
So, for the next, I guess, what, six weeks, we are going to review an episode of Black Mirror season 4. There are 6 episodes this season, and me and Nate really love this show. We've decided that we're going to watch an episode a week and come back and talk to you about the one that we just watched, which will be in chronological order from how it's listed on Netflix. So if you guys been watching it, great. If not, you may want to kind of turn away because this will be spoilerific. But yeah, we'll start with the first episode. And what's it called?
u.s.s. Callister.
u.s.s. Callister. Okay. So first off, what did you think?
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
I'm not a Trekkie.
Neither am I.
Not dissing Trekkies or Star Trek or anything. It's all good. I'm just not a Trekkie. But when I saw it, I was immediately intrigued, and it did not go the route I thought it was going to go.
Yeah.
I had no idea what was happening.
Yeah.
Because I've seen other episodes of Black Mirror. It's not always dark and disturbing. Sometimes it's kind of whimsical and weird. Mm-hmm. So that's what I thought I was getting. But then it immediately shifted. I gotta say, I'm late to the Black Mirror game. Mm-hmm. I have seen episodes from each season. The first season didn't really do it for me. But this season, I'm like, oh shit, now I have to go back and watch everything else that I haven't watched from the previous seasons. So yeah, u.s.s. Callister, I thought it was a great way to start. And it's just really creative.
Yeah.
It's really brilliant. So a little, I guess, synopsis. u.s.s. Callister is obviously like a parody, or not parody, but it's like a clone of Star Trek. And this guy is a big fan of this show. And he's a co-founder of a company that I think designed a game.
Yeah. Right now, the name of the game is spacing me right now.
Well, I think, didn't they call it u.s.s. Callister?
Something like that.
I think they called the game u.s.s. Callister in homage of the show.
Mm-hmm.
The show that he likes is not, that's not the same title. It's something like Space Files or some bullshit. So this guy, he doesn't really fit in at the office, even though he's like one of the bosses. Nobody views him that way. So at first I felt kind of bad for him. I was like, oh, look, he's like a geek and he doesn't have friends and he's socially awkward. And then he turns out to be not what I expected.
Yeah.
And I'll just, let you take it from
okay.
there.
Well, so here, like you, I'm not really knowledgeable about the whole Star Trek thing, but I am aware of the tropes that come with the show.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, when I saw the first posters, I even watched intro trailers to each episode before the season premiered, and I just found this space epic to just be so, one of these things don't belong. It was just like, okay, they're gonna go in space. It was just a weird thing. I didn't expect them to have an episode like this in this show, because every other episode has been very grounded and not so far-fetched. So I had no idea what they were gonna do. So even starting the episode, when I saw that this guy was going to the office after that initial thing, I'm like, oh, we are dealing with the real world. Yeah. What is going on, right? So I was sympathetic for him. And, and let me point out, what is this dude's name? Jesse Plemons. My God. He is amazing. Like, I want to go back and watch Fargo, because I think he was in the first season. And I heard he was brilliant on that, too. I can't remember if he got nominated or not.
I've seen him on other things, yeah. He's
so have I. And, he's just brilliant. I really like him now, and I'm going to keep my eyes out for him. But, yeah, he plays the lead guy who is the designer of this game. And so, yeah, we were meant to feel, sorry for him, and he has this very vivid imagination of how he sees himself when he plays this game. And then even that first mission, he goes back, they do what they have to do, and then what I liked about it is that we got to see, I guess, behind the scenes of what it could be like when the mission's over and they're just hanging out. And I just didn't expect any of that. It did turn dark super quick.
I think it wasn't them hanging out, but it was just they all know how to play their role. And that was the result of them just making sure they are in line, trying to just please him and do everything right.
But he seemed well liked, is how we were told. Like everybody loved his ideas and him being captain and all that. And then it just turned dark. And I don't know. Do you want to like talk about it like thoroughly more, or should we just leave it spoiler free? Or
I mean, we've already spoiled quite a
little bit.
If you've listened to this point, I'll just say all of the actors involved, it was brilliant. It was a very claustrophobic setting.
Yeah.
And I just found myself feeling sorry for these people that it's like I wouldn't think I would feel sorry for them. Because of this situation, it's like,
so
it's such a mind fuck.
It's
but
kind
I
of
loved it.
It's very questionable about sort of the moral aspects of what punishment should fit the crime. I mean, there were little things that were setting him off. Mm-hmm. Obviously, none of these people deserved anything that they got, but.
Okay, so
they aren't saints. So it's just
this is the spoiler.
Yeah.
This is just I'm gonna say it. They're not real.
Yeah,
that's why I'm saying I'm so surprised that I felt sorry because it's
okay,
I know that they're not real, but it's like they are real, and he is torturing them, and it is fucking scary the things that he does to them. Like,
when I watched this, I was saying to myself, are these clones, or are these like I don't know, not AIs, but like video game characters. Mm-hmm. And I was sitting there watching and I'm like, if these are clones, then this has taken a really dark turn because they are self-conscious of themselves. They know that they're alive. They have every memory before that moment. If they didn't have memories, I probably wouldn't care as much.
Yeah,
but they do, and that's what makes it worse.
And that's the whole point. He wants to dominate them. He doesn't want them to just be...
You saw the Christmas episode, right? Of Black Mirror? You have. Okay, if you don't know what I'm talking about, then you haven't. Another situation ended up like that, too.
Oh.
And it was really heartbreaking to kind of see this because she was a clone. So I won't say anything, but you'll see it.
Well, now I know. I never forget, Rob. Yeah, it was really good. And what's her name? Michaela Coel from Chewing Gum.
Yeah.
I'm really happy to see her doing so much. And I just saw Star Wars, and you saw it?
Yeah.
And she had that one little moment. Yeah. I was like,
I know.
What is she doing? She's everywhere now. But yes, fucking Arachnajack, by the way. You'll find out what I'm talking about. But yeah, I loved all the references to the show. Like, the women didn't have guns, and they kept, like, doing, like, this judo thing.
Yeah.
It was just... It was really funny.
I think the captain's mannerisms was pretty spot on. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously he was trying to mimic Spock. Oh my God, Shatner a little bit, and I thought that was good. And again, I'll say that this is a good episode because you don't have to be a sci-fi geek or a Trekkie to enjoy this episode. So yeah. Overall, I think this was a good start. I love the twists, and I like how it ended.
Yeah, loved it.
Very, very good ending. I thought that was very clever. Mm-hmm. And I again, well written. I thought all characters were strong, and even that one moment where the CFO apologized, that I thought was super important because we have to be aware that bullying is wrong and that, granted the punishment didn't fit the crime, it's because you did something to get him to do that.
Yeah, but then also he didn't really apologize because he took it way too fucking far and he didn't deserve that apology.
Yes.
He had some issues.
Yeah.
So, yes, good point, Rob. Bullying is not okay.
Yeah.
But turning around and bullying someone...
I know, yeah. I didn't really Yeah.
Bad math.
Well, that's the other thing, too, is at the end of the day, I did not feel sorry for him.
Not anymore.
He definitely deserved what he got. He was the villain of the story. Yeah.
And I liked how it was sort of connected to, like, San Junipero. because it's that same technology. I'm like, oh, I like this. I want to see more.
Was
of
that
this.
the same?
It was the same thing.
It was the
yeah.
same. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Okay.
I mean, granted, from only watching, I think I watched San Junipero a couple times,
Yeah.
but still, it's like, it's a little silver thing that they put on the side of their temple. It has to be.
Okay, so with every episode, we're gonna rank them, and then by the end, we'll have sort of developed like where they fit in the whole 6 episodes. So Nate, what do you rate this 1 through 5?
Like 1 being the worst.
Yeah, one being bad.
I give it 5.
Give it a total perfect 5.
Loved it.
Okay,
loved it.
All right.
Fantastic.
I'm actually gonna give this a 5 as well. It was very entertaining, and the effects were good. It was a little humorous on top of being super creepy, and turned out
very
good.
surprising.
So let me see. I don't know what episode is next. Do you know which one it was?
I don't remember if it's Archangel. I feel like that's the third.
Oh
one.
no! It was wasn't it the mother one? I think the mother one's next.
Isn't that called Archangel?
Yeah, it's Archangel.
Oh, so okay.
So that one's next?
I think so.
Okay, well,
I don't know.
I know, we'll see.
We're going to talk about episode 2 next week. So
yes.
Whatever.
But join us next week. Watch Archangel by next Wednesday, and you'll be all good.
And now,
I wanted to sort of finish our conversation we had 2 weeks ago regarding remakes and reboots. I didn't want to go too into it at the time because we were just doing nominations, but I think this is a really interesting subject, and it will be good to get sort of your opinion about what classifies as remake / reboot, if there is a difference, yada yada, and then just kind of go from there.
Okay.
All right. So, I mean, I know we did touch on it before. Do we need to kind of get a reminder?
Let's just do it, because you know that these bitches out here, they don't listen to everything in chronological order.
Okay. So, here's my take on a remake versus a reboot. A remake, I believe, is a movie that retells the same story. I mean, yes,
That's a remake.
Yes.
Okay.
It will not be word for word script wise, but the plot and outline, I think, are going to be the same. They don't really want to change too much, just adapt it, update it with latest technology or whatever that you may think of, and usually the beginning, middle, end does not change, and they just want to put new actors in the same sort of storyline. That's basically what I think a remake is, versus a reboot, which is very, very similar to a remake, but you only take the characters and adapt it to anything that you want them to do. So let's say, like, I'm trying to think of a movie. Like, okay, so like Fred Krueger. Nightmare on Elm Street. That is a reboot to me. They use the outline, the name, and the characters, but they had them all do different stuff. So, and what I mean by that is that you got, well, I mean, you didn't get a different origin story, but they did change sort of like an
Scowlers.
You're not agreeing. Okay,
I'm not agreeing. I'm not agreeing at all.
So, like, to me, I think because I'm calling it a reboot because they didn't do the exact same thing as they did before, and
yes, they did.
I don't think they did. I mean,
the only thing they did was open up with what's his name getting his neck cut open in the beginning.
Yeah.
Old girl still got dragged across the ceiling and slid up. Nancy was still a downer, which she was a big downer this time. The only difference they did with Freddy is his makeup was different, and he was an actual pedophile this time.
Yeah.
Like, it was like hinted at before, but it's like, oh no, this time he actually like touched these children.
So I think for me, those small changes make it a reboot because they're trying to do something different with the character and the people who, you know, died up into. Okay, I'm just saying.
The mom gets dragged into something at the end of the movie, like it's the exact same. Like, okay. That's a remake. You take a story and you just retell it. You You don't take a little too much liberty anywhere. Like, Carrie is a remake.
Remake, I agree.
But they do it differently.
Yeah.
Each time I've seen it, it's always like a different ending. It's always a different... They do something different. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she goes to the prom and she gets upset.
Okay.
But it's always different in the end. And her journey to prom is always a little different. The Freddy remake, no.
You don't think... Okay. No. So maybe if I use a bad example, what would you say is the difference between...
A reboot is like... It's basically the same thing, but like that was a reboot. What you just said, A Nightmare on Elm Street was a reboot because they were trying to reinvigorate the franchise.
Yeah.
Scream 4 was a reboot.
Really?
It was a reboot because they were trying to reinvigorate the franchise. They were going to make it into another trilogy. Didn't make enough money, so they walked away. But that was a reboot. So, and it heavily followed the like a lot of like it hit a lot of things throughout the movie that were similar to the first movie because of Jill's journey.
Yeah.
How she like wanted to be Sydney.
Yeah.
But yeah, to me that's like a marketing thing. We're gonna reboot something.
Okay, so you're more on sort of the advertising.
I mean, not advertising. Okay. It's just they wanted to bring the series back. So whenever they want to bring something back, they reboot it. But that doesn't not make it a remake. Now, Scream 4 wasn't a remake.
No.
It was a sequel, but it was still a reboot.
See,
Or an attempt at a reboot.
I disagree just a little bit on that, only because it is a sequel and it's a continuation of a story.
Yeah, but it was supposed to be done.
Well, no. Yeah, it was supposed to be done, but they found a way to continue it. I think that if they started out...
So they rebooted it.
No, I thought if they started out with a completely different cast, completely different story, not connected at all to the previous trilogy, that to me is rebooting it because you are rewinding what's already been done and you're starting over. I don't think they started over. They continued Sydney's story and added new people to pass the torch, take over. But to me, as far as what I would define as a reboot, I don't put sequels in those categories. That's just how I see it. But I see what you're saying, though, why you're saying it's a reboot, because they are trying to reach a different audience and sort of leave the past behind. But I think they would literally like take the name and start over. So like the Scream television series, that's a reboot. Because they didn't even use Ghostface. They just literally took the outline of what made Scream Scream and do their own thing.
No. The third season of Scream is going to be a reboot.
Yes, reboot of the TV series.
Yeah, but that original thing, no.
Well, there was no trace of Scream whatsoever in that TV series. So to me, that's a reboot because you don't see any traces of anything of the original.
So it's like they really just took the name. So it's like you can't even call it a reboot.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a slasher with the same name. It's not even.
Yeah.
So we will agree to disagree, but it's not a marketing thing. It's just so many years go by and it's like, oh, what can we dust off? I know, we'll reboot it.
Yeah. Okay.
Even if it's a sequel.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess I wanted to kind of go, like, what would you say is like your top 3 good remakes or reboots out there that you know of?
Oh, pressure. Okay, well, you disagree with this. I think you've already established that this is a reboot in your mind, but I liked the Friday the 13th remake.
Okay.
Because I don't like Friday the 13th. I've said it a million times.
Did I say I didn't like it? Or?
No, you said it was a reboot.
Okay.
I'm calling it a remake.
Gotcha.
Which it is a reboot because it was like years between whatever. So, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good homage to the original series because it like had all those silly things that it had, but it made sense of what was going on. I was able to follow. It's like, okay, yeah, Jason is able to do these things because he has trapdoors and blah, 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 blah. And you have ridiculous amounts of sex and nudity. But it was like, oh, it's homage to the original. Okay. The colored folks do not make it to the end. Okay. I see what you're doing here.
I don't think they had any in the original. Do they have
Not
any?
in the first movie.
Yeah, I didn't think
No,
so. Okay.
no.
Yeah.
They're never there for the first movie. No.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked that.
So it was, I guess the explanation of a lot of things that was questionable in the original. Is that what made it better, or was it the kills, or?
I mean, the kills I thought were very much in line with the series, but you know, they were done well. Some characters made some really stupid decisions as usual, but I just felt like Jason made sense. He made sense to me finally.
All right.
And you know, it was interesting. It was a different take, and not so different because he was still very much a mama's boy. But yeah, I liked it.
Okay.
That was all right. I saw it at the Red Box for $1. Can't go wrong. Can't beat that.
I saw it at the theater. Every time that I talk about it, I like it a little bit more. And especially after talking with you as to why you like it, I like it even more. When I saw the theater, initially, I wasn't for it. Because it wasn't...
Even though your husband's in it?
I know. Trust me.
The betrayal.
I know. Trust me. I really wanted to like this movie. But it wasn't scary. And that, to me, was sort of the downfall because the trailer was so fucking scary. Like that initial moment when you find out that he's going to be doing more than just walking pace to pace, and then just that charge he had with that girl. Yeah. That was like, oh, my mind went everywhere with this. And then when I saw it, yeah, it was good. Like I said, I ended up liking it more, but initially I wasn't about it. The only thing that I will say was fascinating was they took out old girl towards the end.
Oh yeah,
that was some surprising shit right there because they did a little switcheroo about who the final girl was going to be, and I was like, whoa.
I mean, I just thought that because sometimes 3 people survive.
Exactly.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
And she was so nice. I didn't think that would happen.
I did not think that way either. So that was tight. But yeah, as I got to watch a little bit more, and I read about it, how they combined like sort of like little key moments in the first 3 movies all into one. I do like that sort of aspect to it. And the difference being, compared to the original, it is something that we didn't really expect to see. Yeah. And I didn't walk in thinking, oh yeah, Mrs. Voorhees is going to be, the killer or whatever. So I like that they took a risk and changed it up a little bit. So yeah, I like that one. Well, that was one of my top few as well. So cool. I'll just say a different one. Now I'm calling this a remake because I think that the outline was pretty spot on, and it was Hills Have Eyes. Oh, okay. And so with this movie, I saw the remake first before the original. So after watching the original, I was like, okay, this movie's been spoiled for me because it looks like they're following the same things. The same people lived, and the deaths were pretty similar to the remake as well. The reason why I like this remake, and here's the other thing that I also wanted to bring up with you. When you're watching a remake, are you okay with them following the same story and outline? Meaning the same people live, you're pretty much going to get the same thing, just done by different actors. Are you okay with that? Or do you need a drastic change in order for it to be worth the make?
I think I would prefer some changes. If I know exactly what's going to happen, then I know who's safe, and it isn't going to be surprising. It's not going to be suspenseful. But if it's a remake, then I kind of know it's going to be the same story. Also, I'm in that boat of sometimes I just see the remake first because I'm from a different generation. I wasn't born in the 70s. I didn't see all of these movies when they originally came out, versus my mom has seen a lot of these movies. So then when she watches the remakes with me, she's like, this is trash. What are you talking about? It was fine. Yeah. So it just depends. Okay. But,
So Hills Have Eyes was, I thought, was a very well executed movie. It was super scary. I love the touch of making them sort of grotesque in a way in their visuals because of, was it nuclear waste or radiation? I can't remember.
Yeah, it was radiation.
So I like that little tidbit. to make them look scary. Because I mean, yeah, the human aspect of it from the original, yes, definitely, it's still scary because they're maniacs. It doesn't take away from the original. This just added a little bit to it, and again, it's different from the original. I want to see a movie that doesn't really take somebody else's work and just makes money off of it.
Yeah.
And I think making that little change was great. The casting, great. Kathleen Quinlan, oh my God, I love her in this movie. She plays the mom. I just really like her. So I'm glad they, chose her for that. And again, I want to say the music and the intensity was really heavy for me. I think that whole Winnebago scene, just with her getting raped in that, the music that was because what they kept doing, they kept going back and forth to everything just happening all at once with the dad, and then going back to her, and then just everybody in their own way just getting threatened and just that whole thing. I was like, what is this family going to do? It was just so troubling to watch all of that all at once.
Did you watch? Was this at the unrated version?
I did watch the unrated version.
So I think I watched the regular R.
Yeah.
And there was no rape.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was no rape.
Well, I don't think
it was definitely he was very touching her, and he had her in a certain position, but it's like she's worried about the safety of her child. But they did not show anything beyond
from
that.
what I remember, visually, you didn't see a pan shot of it happening. I think it was very implied.
And for this one, it's it wasn't implied. It was he was touching her and he was going to do something.
Okay.
But he didn't start.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I would probably have to watch it again to make sure to see if they
because I remembered it was it's a big something's gonna happen. And
yeah.
I was and I was oh good, it didn't really happen. But then she sure did get killed anyway.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, I chose that because I just think that they took the same story, even the same outline, you knew what was going to happen, and they still did something different to give you your money's worth. So I think that's a great example. Do you want to kind of go back and forth with good and bad, or you want to go over another good one?
Well, I'll do a bad one.
Okay.
So this is probably the definitive bad remake.
Let's see which one you pick.
Psycho.
Yes! Yes, that was my top pick too.
And we just named The Fog and Prom Night.
Exactly.
I mean, at least they tried to do something different.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure y'all have seen it. It's garbage. Came out in '98.
Good memory. I was about to look it up.
It was a shot for shot. It was shot for shot remake. They did the exact same thing. The only thing they added was this moment where what's his name?
Norman or Vince Vaughn?
Norman. He's spying on her through the wall, which he does in the original, but then he decides to jerk off, and it's oh, okay. And then they had these weird subliminal inserts of imagery, there was a woman in bondage and shit.
Yeah.
It was just this quick whoop on the screen when someone was getting killed or something. It was I don't know.
Wish that because I just thought about this, I wish I went online and looked up why he did this, because I'm sure he wanted to pay some heavy respect to Hitchcock by doing it shot for shot. But, I mean, what a lot of work, and there's no originality in it except making it color.
And I don't think that you can pay tribute to Hitchcock that way.
Yeah.
By completely photocopying exactly what he did and then saying, look, you're welcome. No. And yeah, obviously people don't want to see the same bullshit.
But have you ever thought at all in your life watching a movie and just thinking if only this had different actors in it, it would be good or better or whatever?
And I have thought
you
that,
just wonder if somebody played that scenario out.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Anne Heche.
Mm-hmm.
I like Vince Vaughn, but not in this movie. And I like Julianne Moore, not in this movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I actually would. Well, I don't know. Would you have switched roles? Do you think that would have been a little bit better?
No.
No.
I don't want to watch Anne Heche through a whole hour and 40 minutes. No, I did not think it was well done in any respect. And wow, that blonde wig and pink bathrobe.
Yeah.
So that was a little update. There we go. Sorry, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
It was just bad.
I can't wait for you to watch Bates Motel if you ever decide to. Especially, well, honestly, if you don't care, just watch the Marion episode on the last season.
I would like to watch it.
It's freaking amazing.
I'm sure it's much
so
better.
Damn good. It is so good.
Oh, and another thing I'll say, I've told you this before. I saw the original after I saw this.
So
I
did
saw
I.
the
So did
original
I.
in college, so it was like not 10 years later, but so yeah, and it still was good. I knew exactly what was going to happen. I already knew it was going to happen in Psycho. I'd heard about it for years and years.
Yeah, of course.
But still, I was like, oh, this is good. It's suspenseful. There's something about it. Yes, the actors are good. Anthony Perkins is intense.
Who was the guy that accompanied Julianne Moore? I forget.
Oh, Viggo Mortensen.
Viggo. Okay, that's who was in my head. So, like, I guess Viggo's a big guy. I don't know. Vince Vaughn is like 8 foot everything. And I'm just like, how did Viggo take him down? Like, what the deuce?
Viggo, he's got that Norwegian blood. He's like, he's a Viking.
But, yeah, no, I totally agree. When I go see a remake, especially for people who know of the original, they have to be getting something original or different or something to just elevate paying another, because you can just re-release the movie.
Yeah,
and
do that.
I think in this particular circumstance, it just didn't bring anything new to the table, and it just seemed kind of like a waste of time. But
it was.
I mean, I don't know. Color, did that make any difference for you at all? No.
And it kind of took away from the fun of it too. It's like he used chocolate syrup. It's going down the drain. But it's like, it just wasn't fun.
Now, I will give Van Sant a little bit of credit to have pulled it off, because it looked pretty spot on. So editing alone and filming, like, to hit every single shot by shot is pretty impressive. It's just we didn't want to see it.
Yeah.
But I'll give you credit for that, So, yeah. Okay, no, good choice. We agree on that one. That was my top pick, too, that I wanted to talk about today.
It's terrible.
But one other one that I will say, and I did kind of bring this up in the other episode, is The Uninvited.
Oh, right.
Which is an update of Tale of Two Sisters. Now, I wanted to highlight this one because not many people will take a chance on foreign films. If they see the word subtitles in different language, they're not about it. They're not going to read it. They're not going to bother. They just don't feel that it's worth it. And it's unfortunate because you're missing a lot of good stuff. And here's the thing. When you watch movies from other countries, they do things the U.S. will never even dream of doing.
Yeah.
It's just not in their heads. They can't fathom what those people overseas think about in their heads. They are some pretty fucked up imaginations over there.
But then they think we're fucked up too. So
I know.
It's just so funny.
I know. So with this one, this is a movie that they completely remade. It's not a reboot or anything. They took the exact same plot line, same ending, same twist, and let me tell you what a twist. And made it, for, Americans to watch in case people don't have access to that type of filming. I get it. I understand that. But here's the thing that I don't like. I don't understand. So this big remake craze was really huge in like the 2000s, right?
Yeah.
That's when it all started
the
coming
horror
out.
Was just being remade
Into everything. But for some reason, we were stuck on this idea that every single one of those J-horror remakes had to be PG-13. Everyone had to have a teen following. Everyone had to have teens, like grown-ups who played teens in those said TV shows, be in these movies. I don't understand why it was stuck in that genre. I think some of these movies were ruined because of this idea that they had to be made for these teen folks. And this was an example. The actors that were chosen, I thought were cool. Elizabeth Banks. I don't know. Do you know?
I love her.
Do you know what Tale of Two Sisters is, or Uninvited? Do you know what these are?
I've seen Uninvited on Netflix. I've never watched it. It's a movie about like their well, in the Uninvited, it was like their stepsisters, right?
No. So basically, it was two sisters. The dad remarried
right
after the mom died or something, and one of the sisters believed that this stepmother was evil and trying to get the dad. And they just these two sisters just didn't like him or her, excuse me. And as the movie got on, there was just more and more evidence that this mom or this stepmom was, up to no good. Mm-hmm. So it was basically just the two sisters trying to figure shit out before shit hits the fan. And so the actress Emily Browning, I like her. She has a good resume in horror. Ariel Cable, do you know who she is?
Yeah.
Fucking love her. I think she's amazing. And then Elizabeth Banks played the stepmom. So I don't want to spoil this movie. The only thing that I'll say about it is, again, I just don't think this movie should have been made the way that it was. Because if you're going to execute the exact same story as the J-horror one, you have to give us a reason why yours needs to be watched. And they didn't have one. They didn't have a reason. They didn't change anything. The acting was subpar, and I'm not going to compare it to the original, but again, they didn't bring anything new to the table, except for more exposure to Elizabeth Banks, because I didn't know who the hell she was at the time, so I was like, okay, I got you, girl, but, other than that, there was nothing different. So, I don't know if some of the audience were coming from the J-horror fan club, but you didn't give us anything new. And if you're going to remake something from start to finish, you need to make it better. Put it that way. And I always judge movies on standalone, but I don't need carbon copies unless it's better. So, yeah. I don't know if you'll ever see one of the two, but again, anytime somebody says, oh, Uninvited looks interesting, watch A Tale of Two Sisters. It's so much better. So much better. That's all I'll say.
Okay. I'll try to watch that one then.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. What's another good one that you like?
Well, I already mentioned it, but I enjoyed the remake of Carrie. Okay. The 2013 version.
This will be interesting. I want to hear this.
Mm-hmm. I didn't mind the TV movie that came out in 2001 or 2 or whatever. Yeah, it's just, it's a sad story to me. And I'm not a teenager anymore. I was a teenager when I watched the first 2. But it just really sucks. And I think now, you already mentioned bullying, but knowing the climate that we live in where people are so evil to each other, especially teenagers, they are so evil because they're all so insecure. Mm-hmm. It sucks. And so this is one of those movies where I usually don't feel bad for those kids. I just don't, man. They really fucked with her. And what did you think was going to happen? You can only push someone so far. You really can. Isn't that I think that was part of the,
kind of the message.
The advertisement in the movie. They always pick a very sympathetic looking young girl. And this time, I will say, Julianne Moore, she did a fantastic job in this movie. Totally makes up for Psycho. Mm-hmm. I think she did a better job than Piper Laurie.
Ooh,
Piper Laurie was just coking and joking in that movie. And she admitted this. She said, I didn't even want to do the movie. And then my husband said, this is actually a satire. And she said, okay. So she played it up like it was comedy.
Okay.
Julianne Moore played this movie. She played the role as it should be. She was scary.
That face that just screams domestic. Yeah, I agree with you on that. I'm thinking about it, and she did sell that role pretty well.
And I think for modern audiences, I think, they gave Carrie a little bit of an edge. She wasn't so weepy and weak. She did try to stand up to people sometimes, but yeah, I really liked it.
Did they incorporate cyberbullying in that one? I can't remember.
Yes, they did. Yes,
that's because I was that's what they tried to do. They made it modern, even though they kept the original screenplay-ish. But they made it modern. How would bullying go about in this day and age? And I was curious if they did that.
Yeah. And I think that does speak to just how things are handled nowadays. In the original, it was enough that they were just taunting her in the shower. Yeah. Which is enough.
Yes.
It's this is weird. Why are you throwing tampons at me? I'm naked in a shower, you crazy bitches.
Yeah.
But they didn't, really want to do anything until old bitch was like, let me put this video online because I'm so smart and funny.
Yeah.
And that's when it's like, gotcha. You know?
So I will say that when I did find out that this remake was being made, the only thing that I wanted to change was how the death scenes were going to go. I mean, let's be honest, most people went there just to see what she's going to do. And we're obviously at a point in media where we can do things just a little bit more grotesque than what you would see back in the 80s or 70s. So I'm like, how are they going to fuck up these kids? Now, I can't remember, but did they kind of do the same thing? Or I know that the main villain, the couple, I know they got fucked up. Like that was some heavy shit.
Because in the original, it was such a like throwaway moment.
It was
like, okay, but they didn't really get what they deserved. No, in this one,
that theater was like, what the dude?
It was such a long sequence. It was so
that
worth
slow
it.
motion part, and then
and I don't know everything, but the kids at the prom, no, they got it was graphic.
Yeah.
Because they zoomed they honed in on like each girl that was a friend of the main bitch. I guess I should say I did feel bad for a couple of the kids because like what was his name, Tommy's friend, who was nice.
Yeah.
It's the first time you see this character in the movie, and they did this shot of him where he's like watching her and he looks so scared, and then she electrocutes everybody on the dance floor.
Yeah,
it's terrible. So I think the way they upped it, she flew in this movie.
Yeah, that was the other thing too, is they added this element of her being able to levitate all Jean Grey style. And I mean, it was a nice touch. Again, they took risks. They tried to do something different. Remind me, in the original, did they go out into the road and in the car and all that stuff? Did they do that in the original? I thought it all took place at school and then she went straight home.
No, like pretty much in the original, everybody died except for Sue.
Okay.
And then she goes outside, like she opens the doors for herself.
Okay.
And walks out.
So there wasn't that much activity outside of the school.
No, just the one girl tried to run her over. She flipped the car.
Yeah.
It was a done deal.
That's what I liked about this remake, is because they added on to what, but again, if I say that, it doesn't mean I like this better than the original or the original was shit and they should have done that. It's just, those were the differences. That's what I wanted to see. What'd you think of? Oh, go ahead. I
was also going to say I appreciated the moment between her and Tommy, because in the original I didn't know he was dead.
Okay.
I thought he was knocked out.
Yeah, so did I.
And she was just mad.
Yeah.
Because she was covered in blood, so she wasn't even thinking about him anymore. But I think that was a nice touch to really set her off. It's like, he's dead. Give them that moment. So I appreciated that.
Yeah, they definitely got what they deserve.
Oh, and she didn't kill the teacher. But also, and she doesn't.
Yeah.
In the book, I think the teacher does survive.
Okay.
In the TV movie, she survived, of her own volition. She was still pretty brutal. Like, she lifted that bitch up.
Yeah.
By her throat. That was rude. But still, she survived. Loved Judy Greer.
Judy was in that.
It was Judy. Oh, Judy.
That's right. Totally forgot. Okay. No, that was a good pick, and I think I need to watch that again. What did you think of the casting? Did you like Chloe?
Little Chloe.
Yeah.
Chloe Wawa. Yeah. No, I thought she did a great job.
Okay.
She's a very intuitive actress, and
I think it was, for me, a little bit hard watching her after Hit Girl be like a villain the way that she, or not a villain but a victim the way that she was, because I just know she can kick ass, so it's just like
But I think I had forgotten about that, and I'd seen her in other movies where she was not. It was not an action thing at all. It was a very like melodrama movie.
Yeah,
so
of course
I could do it. I mean, everybody in the movie was good. Sue Snell. She was all right. She was cool. She was pretty blonde girl, but everyone else, they were. Oh yeah, and the villain. I got to give it up to her. She she nailed it. Made her. She made us really want to just watch her die.
Hold on, nope. She's getting a shout out. I got to see who this woman was. Do you remember? Let me see. 2013. It was. What was her name? Do you remember what her name was?
Chris.
Okay,
Chris
so it was
Hardigan
Portia Doubleday.
Portia Doubleday.
Yeah.
You were an evil bitch, and
Yes,
you did such a good job.
Man.
Like, I didn't feel sorry for you. Yeah.
Okay. No, fair enough. All right. Let's see. There are others that I really want to bring up, but I'll just pick one, and I'll stop with my list. Okay. No, I'm gonna use this. Fright Night.
Oh, you like the remake?
I like the remake. I do.
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it? Oh, okay. Well, okay.
My mom watched it. She said I liked it.
Okay. For obvious reasons, Anton Yelchin, Amazing Charlie. I mean, he is just that. You know who that is?
That was him? Oh.
That was. I know.
That's so sad.
Yeah. But, I mean, I think his acting style just makes him the all-American boy. Like, you just relate to this boy no matter what he does. That's how I see him anyway. Like, he's just your average kid. And I really liked him in this role. I liked Colin Farrell. Like, they could have picked other people, but if you want somebody super suave and has got swag and just looks good but can also pull off a Dracula look, you've got it. And I didn't really see him agreeing to this role, to be honest with you. Not to say that it was beneath him. I just didn't think he would do something like this, you know?
Yeah.
It was just something I didn't expect, and I thought he did an amazing job. I like the scares and the comedy in it. The only thing I will say that they got wrong was using CGI versus practical effects. Because if you're going to remake a movie, again, try and do something that elevates it. Give us a reason why it needs to be updated for today. And putting CGI in it didn't enhance anything. It just made it cheesy and less scary and less creepy. Everyone was all about the original when that homegirl turned into that redhead and was about it. But in this one, it just did not come off great at all, in my opinion. I also think the comparison between, what's the Charlie's friend? I forget his name at the moment.
Oh, Evil Ed?
Evil Ed. They chose, what's his face?
McLovin?
Yes, McLovin.
That's all I know.
Yeah. Perfect casting, but his character was executed all wrong, in my opinion. I did not like the way they did that. So there's that. I like David Tennant. Some people are like back and forth with him, making him a magician versus an authentic vampire killer. That's the difference between the two, because they wanted to give him a career that's sort of looked at as fake but can be conceived as real.
And it's very modern. It's a big craze now with all the magician TV shows.
Well, the movie takes place in Vegas. So again, because of the setting, it made sense as well. So I don't mind that at all. And again, I think for the time, he was super popular with Doctor Who, so it makes sense. I get it. I won't say any more, but I will say that Colin Farrell did make this role. I thought he did great. And the difference between this one and the original that I thought was really good was that they incorporated the mom into it more. She had
Tony.
Huge role in this one versus the other one.
Yeah, I don't even remember the mom in the other movie.
Exactly. She was oblivious to everything, and if not, she was always at work because she was an overnight nurse or whatever. So I love the fact that the mom had more involvement in this and that Toni Collette was in it. I mean, yes. Please keep being in horror movies. You could be Dee Wallace if you want to, girl. I'm just saying, keep putting them out there because I love you in them. But yeah, I will say that is a worthy remake. Now, to say that Fright Night needed to be remade, no, not at all. The first one was perfect.
Nothing needs to be remade.
Yeah.
Because you could just make anything. You could make so many things instead of remaking The Fog or Prom Night or Halloween.
I always told you my theory with remakes and reboots. I think that movies that were horrible should be remade, but then people feel like, well, if it wasn't like before, why would they like it now? Because you changed it.
Right.
That's the point.
You found the parts that people were like, that wasn't scary or that wasn't entertaining,
and try again.
And we'll remove that. We'll keep the core elements that it's like, this is interesting, and we can probably sell this now. Maybe it was ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Or it's like, we'll update it with modern technology because it's in the computer, or it's like, I don't know, in the water cooler. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm
so
talking shit now.
they came out with straight-to-video sequels, which was utter crap.
Oh, I didn't.
But then again, who liked the second Fright Night originally anyway? But I would have loved to have seen
That's the one I remember.
Follow-up with a woman, antagonist. But nah, wishful thinking.
That vampire on the skateboard scared me. He did.
Yeah. Oh, that hair scared me. Okay. I don't know. Do you want to give one more good or bad one?
I liked The Blob.
Okay.
I did like the 1988 version of The Blob.
Did you see the original?
I did.
Oh, okay.
It's a big ball of jello.
Mm-hmm.
They did what they could in 1950, whatever. So, yeah. I saw the remake first because that came out when I was a little kid. Should not have been watching that movie. It's way too intense. Because it's very graphic. I think they used sort of like stop motion in certain shots. Lots of practical effects, and yeah, you could see the blob digesting people.
Okay.
Like once they were inside the blob, it was very graphic. So, and then the original, it was like, somebody was out of frame and they got eaten. That was it.
Okay. So what would
you
you say about the remake that made it worth watching versus the original?
It was more intense.
Okay.
I mean, the first one is kind of silly, and it even opens with a song. Beware of the blob, I don't know the song, but I remember watching what am I watching? What is about to happen? And then it starts with Steve McQueen kissing some girl, and it's like, what is this? This is not scary.
Yeah.
That shit hits the fan real quick, and it starts eating everything and everyone. They were pretty creative. Some of it didn't quite make sense, like, how did he get inside homegirl and then just burst out of her? And it's like, I don't know, how did that happen? And she didn't wake up. She was that drunk? Was she roofied? I guess that's what... Yeah.
Well, yeah, I was going to bring that up as one of my honorable mentions because I was going to ask you, is there a remake / original or both that you have not seen that you would like to see in the future?
I don't know. I can't think of any right now.
No, there are plenty that I haven't seen.
I've never seen The Fly, the original.
There you go. Okay, yeah, that's a good one. I've never seen that. I don't even have big memories of the remake either. If I were to watch the Jeff Goldblum one, I would be surprised the whole time.
How could you forget that movie?
I remember what he ends up looking like and stuff, but as far as the story play out,
I see.
I don't remember too much. So. Yeah. But
I don't know if I have a strong desire to watch the original though.
Yeah.
I just talked about it 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
know, it's a guy with a big fly head. Whatever.
But the Maniac movies is a movie that I would like to see. I haven't seen either the remake or the original, but I hear that movie is pretty good. Also, the original. My Bloody Valentine, I haven't seen either. I've been really curious about that one because I really like the remake.
So did my sister.
I really like the remake, and here's the thing: I didn't know about the twists and all that stuff. I can't remember if I guessed it or not, but I was I wonder what the first one's like because the remake was super bloody. So I don't know. I was just curious about it, but. Did you know that Cape Fear was a remake?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
That movie is so scary.
So I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen the remake?
I haven't seen either.
I don't think I've seen the original, but it's not... I mean, I'm sure for its time, maybe it was really intense. Yeah. But that... Oh my God.
I haven't. I saw bits and pieces of the remake... And of course the final scene because they redid it in the Simpsons Halloween special, but no, the Sideshow Bob one. But yeah, I would like to see those two one day, and the Blob. I'm really interested in the Blob too.
Well, if you watch Cape Fear, you just need to watch videos of puppies.
Okay,
before and after.
I will remember that. Maybe I'll make that like a mission for soon.
He's scary. He's so scary.
But I don't know, real quickly, any like good bad ones that are just like
I don't know.
No. Did
Godzilla.
Oh my god.
Poor Godzilla. I didn't hate that movie because I wasn't a
okay.
big fan of Godzilla or anything. I watched some when I was little, but that was a little ridiculous. Like they just, that's when it's like, okay, you did try something different, but it's not Godzilla. It's just a big lizard movie. So.
Okay. Quick honorable mention: Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I thought it was well done.
Yeah, good deal.
It didn't have to surpass the original, but I think for what a chainsaw can actually do to people, they did it. And they did it well. And it was gross, and I was freaked the fuck out. So,
yeah.
Honorable mention, I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good one.
Okay, so, for bitch, really?
What you got?
You don't have one?
Okay, fine.
No.
No. I'll give you a bitch, really. I got one.
I have one too, but I mean, I'm sure yours is probably better.
I mean, you don't know that until I say it.
True.
So, flip a coin, Rob, because I got it.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, look. Friday the 13th remake, Amanda Rigetti. I really enjoy her. I liked her ever since Reunion. Just feel like she doesn't get enough work. Poor thing. But yeah, so Amanda Rigetti and Jared Padalecki, brother and sister, they've survived, and they somehow they chain Jason to that. What is it? What is machine is that? Is it like a wood chipper?
Yeah.
And he gets it in the head. That thing starts taking chunks out of the man's head. Is Jason, and we've established with this movie, he's a flesh and blood person who's been surviving in the woods, and he has little pathways underneath the ground.
Tunnels, yeah.
He is not a supernatural being. So why are they sitting on the docks and then he bursts out of the water through the docks? Bitch, really? You had to fuck this movie up for me? I still enjoyed it. But fuck you, okay? What is he? What is he?
So you didn't like the fact that they didn't
I didn't appreciate
explain, or they just decided to make him like
they just
immortal.
decided to give us that one last scare. You're not obligated to give us some bullshit, okay? Either give me something good or don't give it to me at all.
Yeah, they definitely tried to make a point that he was gone. I mean, that's a very permanent way to die.
Yeah, no, don't mess with the head. Once you have like fucked up someone's head, we're done. We're done. A xenomorph ain't getting back up after their head is gone. So why is Jason getting up? Huh? Okay.
I was gonna do Quarantine, so yours probably was better.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'll save mine for later.
Okay.
Well, this is the time where I want to say thanks for listening, and of course we could use your comments and ratings on iTunes. So just go to our podcast page, give us a little shout out and a comment what you think of our show. We'd really love all of that, all of your opinions and suggestions. So yeah, go to iTunes and give us a little rate. Yeah, what do you think of the show?
Yeah. Shout out to all the Capricorns before Capricorn season wraps up. Love you guys. I have a lot of you in my life. Don't know why. I like earth signs, I suppose. But yeah, we'll catch you next time on Bitch I Ain't Scared.